here we go. Game 1, 2v2. Turn team colors off. Between Norway and Brazil. MBL and Viper versus Fire and Dogal. In the blue here, we have Fire and his ally. In the red is down here, and that's Dogal. And then across from them, we have MBL in the green playing... Well, we'll address the civs in a second. And then Viper in the yellow. And everybody seems to know Viper for playing in the yellow. So the civs are mirrored. And this is... Oh gosh, I think I've forgotten already. Crisscross. And you guys are getting the Kraygosms in. It's Vikings and Mongols. Viper's playing as the Vikings. Across from him, his enemy, Fire, he's playing as the Vikings. And then down below, the other players are playing as the Mongols. It's a pretty interesting map because, as you can see, there are ponds and lakes. And these ponds and lakes are quite nice for fishing. But at the same time, sometimes you're not able to wall off, and you need to apply pressure and attack one another at the same time. So we're going to have to pay attention to everything. And also, Viper's villagers, do they look the same? Do they look sexier? I'm not sure. YouTube viewers are probably confused, but I don't know. I'm leaning towards sexier. I think just the yellow makes him look so much sexier. But a couple things to touch on. Like, Viper has this pond right here. He can easily dock this. I think he's going to go for that. Now, in the middle, we could see players wall this off. And we could see quite a big fish boom for both players. Over on this side for MBL, he has another pond down here he's able to fish boom on. But it's a bit closer to his enemy, so his enemy could always push down here later on with maybe fire ships or galleys and snipe those. So you might want to opt to go for the further lakes in the back corners. And this one he would share with Viper, this one would be farther away. Now, another thing I noticed, just in the early game here, was that the woodlines are awful for the Brazilians. Behind the woodline for Dogal is his main gold, and so that makes it bad enough. And then if you look at Fire, his gold's also behind a woodline, and it's shaped similarly as well. This doesn't look good. I meant to say their golds are bad. So with bad golds, especially against Viper and MBL, who are quite aggressive players, it could be really difficult for them. Meanwhile, the other golds for the other players, well, that one's forward for Viper, but not behind a woodline. And MBL's, well, he has his on the back. And he has a ton of gold back here, actually. It looks like a dock's going up for Dogal now. And I am quite interested to see how players do, because when you go for the dock, it slows down your feudal time. But in the long run, it helps you out. But everybody's going for a dock at this point. And saying that Fire actually doesn't have the worst position for a pond either, but again, Viper could always, since it's like in the middle, Viper could always snag that later on if he wants to, but that's going to be something later in the game. I think we'll see. And the walling could be... Oh, I heard a villager go down. Did Fire just lose a villager here? He did lose a villager. You can see the dead villager. That's really messy. I was going to talk about the walling in the middle he could do, but he's going to have one less villager to wall with now. Really rusty start for Fire. And Viper's been playing a lot lately. MBL's known for his walling, but known for his macro, which you normally do behind the walls, and he's going to wall up now. And honestly, I don't blame him for doing it so early. He has the fishing already started. He has all of his golds in the back. He has deer here. It's looking really good for him. Somebody's asking my prediction. Someone's asking what I predict between these games. I can't really predict it. I don't feel like it's right for me to say, like, one team has an advantage. I don't know. You never see commentators do that. At least I never see that, and I don't like to see commentators do that. I think that one team has an edge. I'm not going to say one team's going to win. I think that Viper has been more on form lately. Viper is the strongest player out of the four, and because of that, that gives Norway the edge. But another thing I was talking about is that Fire and Dogal, I think, possibly communicate a little bit better, because Viper and MBL do not play on the same clan. They don't play a lot of team games with each other. Dogal and Fire have played a lot of team games with one another, so you just never know. You just never know until you watch the games. You'll see Loom coming in for players. Actually, Dogal's gone up quite early. I'm really surprised at his early uptime. If you look at his villager count, he's on 20 villagers. Of course, he's Mongols. He's luring in a deer. I really like to see that. Luring in that deer right underneath that town center. He has 4 fishing ships. But if he's gone up that early, I expect him to go aggressive against MBL. And MBL is known for being cool under pressure. I just wonder if Dogal's going to try and grush. He's actually building a barracks now. I question the decision to go up so early. Meanwhile, Fire's actually going up early as well. I assume everybody has a game plan going into games like this. And both Brazilians going up early, so maybe they're both executing their game plan. Fire, he's gone up with 1 extra villager, but remember he lost 1, so it would have been 2. Looks like a messier build for Fire. Viper, he has a scout in here. He can scout out what's going on, which is really important. And now they're going to see that they're up, so they're going to have some good information. They're going to have some good guesses. Now, MBL is going to gold. I'm going to go to MBL and Viper's point of view. MBL, as you can see, about to click up. He should be in a fantastic position to just fast castle this, basically. And the signaling's now coming in, and it looks like Viper and MBL, obviously on TeamSpeak or Discord or whatever, they're signaling where they're walled. But I expect some type of pressure from Dogal. I expected it, but I'm not seeing that. And so I'm very confused at this point. The stable's coming up, walls are coming up, but scouts are not going to get through. I just don't know at this point, ladies and gents. But Blacksmith now, maybe they feel like their economy's better going up. Maybe they're just trying to get away with a faster uptime with the fishing ships. I should be back. I should be back. Tell me when I'm back, please. It's awful. Awful timing. Please tell me when you see me. Okay. You see me. Should be good. It just like clicked off. I don't know why. But regardless, I think what I was talking about is Viper just assumed that Fire was going to do what he's doing now. But I think Fire and Dogal made the bad decision in going up with so few vills. You're gonna have to refresh, guys, and please tell the chat to refresh. Okay, so 2 archery ranges from Viper. He's probably gonna click up shortly, and he's just clicked up now. And he's going to be going with crossbows, I assume. And crossbow's going to be great for him, obviously. Viper is fantastic with micro. I'm surprised he's going with 2 ranges. But Fire's actually clicked up now as well. Now, if you compare, Fire's gone up with an extra villager. Maybe Fire and Dogal not doing too bad. Now, MBL, he's going with a stable as well. I was probably a little bit wrong with my predictions. But that's okay. That's okay. Viper and Fire on the right side. Both Tyrant players. And with Tyrant times. One thing I will say is there's stone walls now from Fire, and I'm not... And scouts actually coming out from Dogal. Look at that. Dogal sneaking his scouts around. And he's going to attack Viper, who has 1 spear only. I like that move. He just let the scouts out there. And they might actually go hit MBL, who's also walling this side. Lots of walling from MBL. That's going to force it towards Viper. I think Viper should be fine if he fights it with builds. There's no upgrades on these scouts. But we'll see here in a moment as there's a small hill. Viper's pulling that villager away. He has only 4 archers. I think the villager's going to go down, and then the scouts will run away. That was well played from Dogal. Two ranges from Viper. He's going to get crossbow and bodkin here in a sec. And waiting for that next town center. He's going for that town center now. And could go for another one. He's going to do that just now. Alright, and actually it looks like Viper's trying to sneak a villager down here. Spotted by the galleys from from Fire. And I'm not sure what Viper was planning, but he's probably planning to put a dock in there and go fire ships. Fire, believe it or not, actually put galleys out there to prevent that, and I really like that move. Yeah, sorry about the stream going offline, guys. I just recommend refreshing. There's not much I can really do. I would refresh the stream. Everything's fine on my ends now. But yeah, that was very well played from Fire. I like the fact he invested in 2 galleys so he could protect all of his fishing, which is really important. I don't see any sneak vills on any of the other lakes. In fact, look at this. MBL's done the same thing. He has a galley here, and he's actually transporting around some knights. I did see the scouts here earlier. He's actually pushing away some villagers. He transported these as well. So, well done by MBL. Meanwhile, on the front, it looks like Viper's going aggressive, which I find interesting because there are stone walls here, but he could always transport. Looks like Fire has the middle lake. Anytime I see someone going aggressive against stone walls, I'm just like, why? You know, I don't understand the decision, but it's Viper, and I trust his judgment. Now the knights are, or have come around. One knight has come around from MBL, but camels are coming out already from Dogao. Look at the Vil difference now. You will see MBL and Viper are slightly ahead. Dogao is really lagging behind. And look at the crossbows from Viper. He's sending more out. Is he going to transport? He doesn't have a dock, so I don't think so. Now this would be the area to go for Viper, I think, but if he attacks the market and the palisade and goes through here, we could always see walls behind from Fire. Now Fire could always go with water control to push this back. Like, the galleys would be good. War galleys would be great. And I think he is going to wall behind with the siege workshop. Of course, a counter Mangonels would be great. And now we have the units going in from MBL on this side. It looks like the Norway team is putting on all the pressure, which is not good for Brazil. Look at the population difference. It's not great, and we could see Dogao lose another villager here. He is losing another villager, unable to get that monastery up. All that MBL has is 3 scouts and a knight. And another villager could go down for Dogao. Look at that, it's just hanging out there. That villager is not going to be as sexy as Vipers, as we were talking about. It's just going to go right down. It's going to be very ugly in a second. Or maybe, well, it's still going to be ugly, but it's going to be in the TC. Okay, the pressure is still on over here. Viper is actually going to use Mangonels against War Galleys, so it looks like that is the choice from Fire. What a game we have on our hands here. That Siege Workshop from Fire, I'm going to toggle over to that right now, because there's a Mangonel. Oh my gosh, could he kill 3? Oh no, he did not kill 3, but he's probably going to kill another one. What? Oh, the split from Viper. I thought he was actually going to split away from it. Well done from him, though. I will say, honestly, well done. He could have lost all 3 of them, but still he could to the War Galleys. Fire's doing a great job at holding this, and going back to my point, it's really tough to push against stone walls. And Fire's Mangonel came out of there at a perfect time. But Viper's doing a great job. The fishing ships, one thing to note is the fishing ships for Viper and MBL, much higher, much higher. They're all in deep fish now as well. MBL's gone back here. And that helps out in a big way. And it's a huge investment to go into War Galley just to defend. Map control should not be underestimated, and Norway is holding that. Mangonel micro here. Viper's gonna, well, trade 1 for 1. Viper's being forced back. When you have crossbows, it's just gold and wood, so it's really not hurting your food income. You can still get up to the Imperial Age in a good time. There's a demo ship from MBL. I'm not sure why he has that, but his land aggression has been stopped. What a game we have here. But the villager difference is climbing. MBL and Viper doing a great job. And Viper's actually docked in the middle. This is a great move. If he takes out the left-hand side, if he takes out Fire's water control, which he probably will do now because he has 4 docks. Keep in mind, both players are Vikings. He's going to go in with the crossbows. What a fantastic play from Viper. He just got ballistics as well, guys, so I don't think Fire's going to be able to out-micro this. And this is trouble for the Brazilians. This is trouble. Keep in mind that MBL could always transport around this way now, and he might think about doing that and docking himself. He's actually sending out villagers. He's going to castle. Yeah, this is bad. If you lose water control in the middle, you can be transported anywhere, and that's what I expect. It actually looks like Fire is sending resources to Dogao now. Maybe they're getting desperate. Maybe they know. Yeah, look at that. Dogao's receiving resources. Let's look at that. Yeah, Dogal's gonna quick up to the Imperial Age after he gets the University up, and he's gonna try and pull this back. Is it gonna be enough? It's gonna have to be one heck of a game from Dogal to do that. Fire's just gonna immediately start slinging. He knows he can't do anything. But sling only works in the early game. By now, it looks like... I keep wanting to say Tyrant. That'd be a real compliment for MBL. By now, it looks as though the Norwegians have a lot of map control. So I'm just not sure. But the one thing that Dogal could do is he can completely forget about the water. And he could just go with a ton of Mangadize, and he could kill MBL. And then he shouldn't have as hard or as much trouble dealing with Viper, because Viper's Vikings. But it sounds a lot easier than it really is. Imperial Age upgrade coming in for now MBL, Dogal, and Viper. So everyone's going to be in the Imperial Age during these engagements. We're going to see a couple castles from Dogal. I don't know if he's going to have the numbers. And MBL is going to have his own Mangadai anyway. Okay, I'm taking a look at Viper's point of view. What is he doing? He's adding more ranges. And more castles for MBL. MBL actually just put the castle on water, maybe just to support if Viper had to pull back, but I don't think he's going to need to. Gonna transport some crossbows, we'll have to pay attention to that. Gonna transport 10 of those guys. Mongols really are the powerhouse on land in this matchup in the late game, so the focus is going to be on this left-hand side on land, and then a little bit here as Viper transports. And if he gets Arbalest and he gets the upgrades on those Arbalests, with Viper's micro, he can do a lot of damage. But I think they will see it because there are outposts up. I don't know if MBL is going to be able to complete this wall. There's going to be 3 castles from Dogal, and he has the hill and he has the gold, so this game is not over. If MBL crumbles, it could be bad. All of his castles are right here. Dogal could choose to treb them down. Probably wants to throw out some Mangadize first. Meanwhile, over here, I can't find these crossbows from Viper. I'm not sure where they went. He's actually in the base of Dogal, and that's probably the wisest move. They may be guessing, as they see the castles from Dogal, that Dogal's receiving these resources from Fire. Camel's coming over. Dogal's sending what he can. And Viper's probably just going to run away. But he is getting the upgrades I expected. And there are Trebs right off the bat from Dogal. Right off the bat from MBL. Meanwhile, on the front, it looks like Captaram's going to be the choice from Viper. And keep in mind, Fire is still in the castle age. That's going to be really difficult for him to hold. He could go with a couple Mangonels, but keep in mind the left, still water control for Viper, so I expect Viper to just run right in with Arbalest, so Dogal really needs to do a lot and do a lot fast. I'm comparing upgrades on the Mangadai. Well, I'd like to, but there are no Mangadai to compare for Dogal. At least looking at the castle's range, it looks like both players here have +3. MBL's lost a Treb. But MBL, in my opinion here, still in a good position, because he just needs to hold while Viper kills on this side. That's what I'm expecting. That's probably what they're saying. MBL is just like, I got this, buddy. I'll hold, you kill, and it's probably the other way around. Viper's like, MBL, don't screw it up. But seriously, units are going to be massed from Viper, and pretty soon Fire's not going to have an answer to this in game 1. Capram just completed. A fortified wall completed for Fire. And he actually did complete a lot of the walls on the left-hand side, so maybe it will take a while. Oh, this game is really heating up. And the Mangadais have similar upgrades. Elite Mangadai coming in for both players. Dogal's getting it first. He has more Trebs up here, but he's close to losing his castle. It's just gonna stay up for now. Yeah, it's still gonna stay up. But it's so close. It's so close. It's still gonna stay up. It's like 450 HP I hit. Plus there's a hill involved here, so It's gonna stay up. He has his Manga Die. He's gonna go for the Trebs of MBL. Very good for him, and there's still a hole on the left. He's going with the Siege Workshop. MBL could be in trouble. How's Viper doing here? More walls from Fire. Oh man. Arbalest, Capped Rams, Galleon's coming in from Viper now. I'm surprised at the Galleon choice, actually. I'm not sure what he's going to do with that. He has the water control already. He's getting coinage, probably to send resources to MBL because he knows MBL's in trouble. Like I said, these Elite Mangadai, if they run right over MBL, they can go right to Viper. Viper knows this. 3 Trebs. Dogal's going to add in Rams soon. He has Siege Ram on the way. This is bad. I don't think MBL can hold this at all. And this is where the Galleons are for Viper, actually. That's why he's holding there. That's why he got that upgrade. Mangonels from Fire. You know what? If Fire gets a big shot with these Mangonels, I don't think he will, but if he does, that's going to be really important. If he can just hold and keep himself alive, give Dogal the time, maybe Dogal can kill MBL. MBL's still holding. MBL has Elite Mangadai himself now. Dogal actually does not have chemistry. More castles on the back from MBL. There are the Mangonels. Now the Mangonels are mainly for the Rams. And Mangonels versus Arbalest, not a good matchup. Viper's going to focus them down pretty quick. It's not looking great for Fire here. I don't think he has an answer to this except the Mangonels. And actually, Viper needs to be careful. He's cleared out 1. He's cleared out 2. He's actually cleared out 4 total there. He's going to need to clear out a 5th. But he's lost some of his Rams, so maybe Fire's just holding on. Meanwhile, on this side, Dogal's still pushing in on the left. A Panic Castle from MBL where all its gold and stone is. It is really good that Viper has the water control here because MBL can still keep his castles alive. I think it's not going to be enough for Dogal because that castle went up. It's not going down. Just castles everywhere from MBL. You can thank Viper for the resources, of course. But wow, what a game. More castles from Dogal. It's still something Dogal has a chance with on the left, but as Viper comes over, it's going to get harder and harder, and Fire still has no answer. So I think they're just waiting for Dogal to be able to do something more, and it's getting more and more difficult. Onager's coming from MBL, and I see Dogal researching that now. Maybe he's thinking that's going to turn it around for him, but when he sees MBLs, maybe he's going to lose hope in this. But still, he hasn't. It's amazing how many castles MBL has put up. I think he's at 7 now. Dogal's lost Mangadai running into those castles. Viper's pushing in. At this rate, Fire is going to die. Fire is at 107 villagers. But all of his economy's back here, and it has no protection. And there's the GG from Brazil. Brazil is called the GG in game 1. And it's $200, but all 5 games are played. So that's $40 to the Norwegians. So, what a first game. That was great. That was a very exciting game. Sorry about the drop. Everybody seems to still be here. But let's look at the achievements. And military stats. As you can see, Dogal killing more. Got the sling. So more pressure was put on him. Viper, more food and wood. And you can see more gold for MBL. MBL is actually researching SO at the end of that game. Uptimes, pretty interesting. Like I said, Fire and Dogal went up earlier. In the end, I think Viper and MBL going up later with more economy was the better approach. And society stats. You can see the villager highs as well. But what a great game we